All right, so thanks for being here. I guess you had to be here. My name is Charlie Hasemann. I'm the Assistant Vice President for Innovation and Economic Development. I lead a group called the MSU Innovation Center, made up of these components. The picture of the building is there so you can find us. We're not on campus. We're across the street, across Grand River. Douglas J is on the first floor, and you can get your hair cut and then come up and talk to us. So in Business Connect, the four groups are Business Connect, MSU Technology, Spartan Innovations, and the Hatch. Business Connect is an organization that's all about helping faculty get research funding from corporate sponsors, right? So as federal funding gets tighter, this has become a more popular and plentiful source of money. Companies are shrinking their R&D organizations and outsourcing more work, and faculty are looking for new sources of money when the federal money is tougher to get. And so it's an increasingly important piece of how the university can help faculty get research partnerships together. We do a lot of work around creating those partnerships and can help. If you don't have a company you want to work with, we can help you find one. MSU Technologies is our tech transfer office. This is about your inventions getting protected and being moved out into the marketplace. So it's that whole intellectual property protection and marketing approach to. We've had $4.2 million in royalty revenue year over year. We're in that same sort of $4 to $5 million a year revenue. A good share of that goes to the faculty member themselves, the rest to the university, and actually helps fund the foundation, which I think you heard about earlier. Spartan Innovations is actually a partnership with the MSU Foundation. They created this company in partnership with us. It's a company that starts companies. And so if what you're working on is a technology or an idea or a work process that might make its way into the private sector where you can actually deliver a service or a product, we can help start that company so that we can get that thing out into the marketplace in a way not just through a license to an existing company. And then the last piece is the Hatch. The Hatch is and this is a broad overview. The Hatch is a student incubator. So we have support for undergraduate students who have entrepreneurial ideas, and we bring them in and we help them go through the process of discovering their market and building their company. And it's really done just as a service to our undergraduates that there's an alternative career path for them, which is maybe not their first job is for somebody else, but it's for themselves. So a little more detail about kind of who does what. And who does what we don't do. So Business Connect, again, I say that's corporate sponsored research is the focus. MSU Technologies, corporate licenses, your patented or copyrighted technology being licensed to an existing company. Spartan Innovations, startups. And then there's another group which I haven't talked about, which is in advancement, university advancement. There's a corporate and foundation relations group, which also works with companies, but they work on the philanthropic side. So everything I do in my office in Business Connect is around a contract, a research contract. Companies often will want to give money, meaning gift money, to the university to support research, and that would actually run through the advancement group. What we don't do in our office is what the next speakers will be talking about more, is federal, state, and not-for-profits. And so we are really, our whole floor in our building is focused on that private sector interface. I may have said all of this already, but I think it's important. We help companies come into the university, so we help companies identify you. So if someone comes to me and says, I need an expert in something, we work with the company to find the expert and to make that connection and hopefully produce an introduction that leads to a collaboration. We do a lot of the proactive business development. If we know we're great at something like plant biotechnology, we're all over the plant biotechnology companies trying to get them onto our campus to recognize our strength and to fund research at this university. And we really act as a one-stop shop for everyone who might be in this space so that they don't have to wander about campus trying to find what they're looking for. We're here to really make this an easy thing. We concierge for both parties. We help faculty find companies and companies find faculty. It's growing. If you look at corporate support overall, that's gifts, grants, and contracts from corporations. The number last year, 2017, was $38 million. So this is not little bits of money. This is a fair amount of money coming to the university from corporations, and so I think it's an avenue you probably don't want to overlook. My best advice is to start early with us. We get in trouble when we come in late, right? So if the faculty and the company a scientist at that company or someone at that company have worked it all out between the two of them, and then we start talking about policies and contracts and everything else, then we kind of hit a roadblock. So if you can be working with us early on, as soon as you've got an idea that you want to work with a company, come talk to us and let us help navigate all the things that have to be done between an idea and an executed contract. That really helps. We want to make sure it's a successful, productive partnership that makes that company want to come back and work here again someday, that they don't think, God, that university was awful. I know we'll do this project, but we're never coming back. That's a terrible outcome. And so let's work together to make sure it's a really great experience for everybody. And in the process, if we're working with you early on, we can be thinking about what assets we need to protect and what's special about this project that we can make a special deal in the contract so that everyone gets what they want. It's really about finding that win-win, and you can't do that at the last minute. Moving on to MSU Technology, I think it's pretty straightforward. You've done something clever, and we need to figure out how to protect it. And so we have a whole process set up. You do an invention disclosure to our group, and they will run the whole process to figure out, is there a market for this technology? Are there existing patents for this? You don't have to do all that work. We will do that work for you. But you have to disclose your idea to us. We can't help you if you don't tell us about it. If you publish it before you tell us about it, we can't help you because now it's publicly disclosed and can't be patented. So come talk to us about what you've done before you publish, and we will run it through our process of screening it to see if it's a viable, commercially patentable thing. And we will protect that patent, and we will go through the process of making it possible to have it commercialized. It's important to realize that there are not a lot of funding sources, federal funding sources, state funding sources, to do the work between having a good research discovery and turning it into a product or a patentable invention. So we actually have resources in our group which are there to kind of serve as gap funding between good idea, fundamental research, and patentable commercial prototype. That's the sort of funding that doesn't really exist from any public sources, so we have to self-fund. And we have many different grant programs to do that in niches of interest. Doug already talked about the MTRAC program here, which is around ag biotech. We also have a TSGTD program, terrible name, the Targeted Support Grant for Technology Development. It will fund translational work in any area. And so it's really anything. There's an advanced grant program, which is a state program that we administer for all faculty in Michigan to take their ideas forward. And then we have a drug discovery support program that we're running funding through. So if you have a patentable idea and we think it has commercial potential, there are in fact resources to bring it forward towards product. So you have to be talking to us. Spartan Innovation's last leg of that stool is all about this company creation process. And again, we have to have a patented invention that we can license to the company. So that's the kind of space that we're working in. It has to be, some sort of protectable idea. It could be a copyrighted or trade secret sort of concept, but it has to be something that we, MSU, own, that we can place in that company so that that company can then attract external funding. If you think about, as an example, the drug discovery process, it can be millions, if not billions of dollars to move a concept from laboratory experiment to a first-in-human experiment. Well, so you're not going to raise millions of dollars by yourself. You're going to have to put that concept into a company so that company can go out and raise private capital. And that's one mechanism to keep your project moving forward. The same is true even for simple engineering ideas. Sometimes something is too early to be commercially viable. You have to put it into this corporate vessel so it has a chance to attract venture capital to move forward. And so we can make all of that happen, and we can set that all up with you in collaboration. And that's kind of a smattering of the companies we started recently who are continuing to move university technologies forward. So I really am brief. That was just a big overview of what we do around private sector engagement. We are on the 3rd floor of the building across the street from campus, right across from the parking garage that's on Grand River. It has an incubator up there that was originally founded by East Lansing, the Technology Innovation Center. We incubate companies in the space. We have our offices up there. It's a pretty exciting place where lots of people are working on advancing university ideas to the marketplace. So come talk to us. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Sure. I'm listening.
What are the distribution percentage for the licensing fee and licensing income?
It depends on the value. I probably have to speak into both microphones. It depends on the value of the invention. There is a formula on our website, so I don't want to try to give you the exact answer. But in the early stages, when the money is still small, the faculty member, after we've reimbursed the university for its patent costs, the faculty member gets all of the money. By the time it's a multi-million-dollar invention, you're probably only getting half the money. But it's actually very generous, and some of our faculty have done very well with this program.